I studied philosophy in college. It teaches you to think analytically. It teaches you to think outside the box. It teaches you to question the way things are. Well, one of the ruder discoveries was when I got out of college and I found out that you can major in philosophy, you can get straight A's and do well in it, but you won't get a job. I went to the library and got a book, and it listed the Fortune 500 companies, and I applied to all 500. One wrote back and said no. The others didn't even bother to write back. At that time, I don't think I even knew the word entrepreneur, but that's what I was about to do, is become an entrepreneur. I dabbled in a lot of different areas, and in every endeavor that I got involved in, there was one thing common, and that was, where do you get the money? Money really is that central thing that every business, every endeavor has to follow. And I started to teach myself, where do you get money? And that got me thinking about economics. And I began to learn how to help real estate developers find their financing. I learned the banking system that way. And just when I had the swing of that, the economy crashed with the savings and loan crisis. And when that happened, there just weren't lenders anymore. I had all these clients who needed money, but no access to money. That's when I conceived of securitizing the debt. So instead of going to the banks, who were the traditional source of money, or the pension funds, let's take all these mortgages together, pool them together collectively, go to Wall Street and get them to sell bonds to finance all of these loans. That's when I learned structured finance. And that was an interesting era in my life, because for about a period of 2 years, I had in my head how it could be done. And I'd go out to Wall Street, I'd meet with the investment bankers, I'd meet with the rating agencies, structure it out, show how the cash flows work, have people scratching their heads. And there came a moment when I could see the light bulb turning on. And I landed an engagement with DLJ, and we put the whole program together. Within a year, all loans in America were done structured. So completely transformed the way lending is done in our country. It went from sourcing the money from banks to sourcing the money through Wall Street, and as a result, the economy skyrocketed because you had brought a new form of liquidity. You were using money in a much better way, much more efficient way. Those ideas that I spent all those years promoting, once they took root, they really changed our economy. They changed our banking system. Once I saw how easy it was to come up with a financial technology that would change things, I began to focus on issues that were near and dear to my heart. At that time, I was running a thriving company, and when you are running your own company, you quickly become aware of the pain of taxation. And I was underwriting other people's deals, and I saw the impact of taxation on all of these people. This is a tough fight. We take it for granted we have to pay taxes at this level. But if we didn't, things would be a lot different for us. And I made a commitment every day to spend 2 hours just researching economics and researching taxation, looking for an alternative that would be better than the system we were currently using. I think what holds us back as a society right now is we're in an ideological war. And that comes from this mistaken concept that the economy is a zero-sum game. The economy is exchanged for the benefit of everybody. When we have net improvements in our economy, we all win. When we switched over from horses to automobiles, we all were driving faster. That was a win for everybody. The computer comes along. That's a win for everybody. We can all win with true solutions. Here's the folly with our current financial operating system. We see that the government needs to spend a certain amount of money, and that money's coming out of our hides through taxation. And so what happens is you get a lot of people out there who have insufficient money to spend, and the economy languishes because of it. And you're taking money from the others who are producing, and the economy languishes because you're taking money from them. And it seems like a no-win situation. And if you look at it from the classic conservative versus liberal view, it is a no-win situation, and it's only going to get worse. A new operating system in which you abandon those taxes altogether and you tax payments and you're able to provide basic income, completely reverses the scenario. The business owner who is trying to find customers wins when everybody in our country is receiving basic income. There's more money to be spent. He's able to produce more. He makes more profits. I get asked a lot, who's against this? Who's going to lose? Actually, that's my favorite question to get asked. It reminds me of the days when I was going around Wall Street saying, hey, look what we could all do here. The opposition were naysayers who just couldn't believe that, oh, something like that could actually happen. And that opposition disappeared as soon as we began to do securitization and things took off. The opposition I get today are people who just say, this sounds too good to be true. And I always say, well, the internet sounded too good to be true. If you were to describe it to somebody before we had the internet, you just tap a few things on a keyboard and you could know whatever you want. Tap a few things and you could communicate to somebody on the other side of the world in a split instant. Sounds too good to be true to me too, And so the opposition basically comes from people who are pessimistic, who are living their life inside of a box, who don't believe that man can progress at the rate that man can progress.